Hello world, this is Wolfstar Games, it's Anton, and welcome back to more Robotics Notes Elite. Last time, Akio found her resolve and decided to follow her heart. Which, I'm glad. And before we get back into the game here, I do want to bring up from last time, after I had finished off my recording session, that I really started to think about what the bad end would be like. So I actually want to go through that real quick before we hop into the 10th phase. And also, honestly, last time, I honestly thought we were going to get an Akio ending because it was kind of playing out that way that we would get an Akio end. But I guess not. So we'll hop right into getting the bad end here. All right, let's do this. Let's be really a dick to Akiho and win. All right, let's do this. Sorry, Akiho. As much as I hate to do this. Oh, I have to do it more than once. Okay. 3 times. Yeah. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Ah! You win. No enemies remain. Okay. That's a silver trophy. Phew. I crushed her. It's like I didn't want to do that, but I gotta see the bad end.
これで満足?
There's that transition again. I want to say that that's a glitch. I mean, it's so weird that it has to be a glitch. And I actually kind of like paused through that last time, and it's that transition is Akiho. It's really weird.
ひどいよ、カイ。
It's like, I don't want to see her sad.
こんなの、ちょっとしたいじめだよ。
万に一つの奇跡ってのを期待したんだけどな。
Hoping for a miracle? Really?
もしこの状況でアキちゃんが俺に勝てたら、それってすごい奇跡でしょ？つまり、神様のおぼし飯ってことになる。それなら、続ける価値もあるかもって思ったんだ。
奇跡なんて起きないよ。たとえ起きたって勝てるわけないし。カイのバカ！もうほっといて！
Oh, this just hurts me. Hurts me right in my heart. Ugh. Ugh. Whoa. She's really sobbing. Ugh.
悪かったよ。
もういいよ。カイなんてどうせこれまでろくに手伝ってくれなかったし。
This stings.
カイがいてもいなくてもあんまり変わらないんだからね、バカ！カイなんて嫌いだ！こんにゃろー
This is not good. She's totally lost control of her emotions. I'm not going to be able to get through to her for a bit.
アキちゃんさ、今日はもう帰りなよ。事後処理はめんどくさいけど俺がやっとくから。
カイこそもう帰って、うちなんかに付き合わなくていいから。うちは部長としてちゃんと最後まで責任全うする義務があるの。
Akio then turns her back to me and starts climbing up the fallen Model 2.
パンツ見えるよ。
うるさい。
She grasps her knees and crouches down on top of Model 2. She's completely cut herself off. And she's alone now. It's like she feels like she can't trust Kaito anymore. There's no point in trying to get through to her anymore. It'd be just a waste of time. She told me to go home, so I'll do just that. And it's like, leave her be. Her dream ends here. No matter how hard Akio struggles alone, there's a limit to what she can accomplish. But I'm sure that someday, this setback will become a fond memory for her. Fond? How would this be a fond memory? Then she can find a new dream and work toward that. She only has one dream. Pretty flowers. 3 months have passed since then. Looking back on things, it felt like a really busy 3 months. After graduating from high school, I left Tanegashima and started attending a prep school in Kagoshima-shi. I'm spending a year here. After that, I plan on taking the entrance exam for a university in Tokyo next year. Akio remained on the island. After things went down, she did her best to repair Model 2 alone, but she couldn't make it in time for the expo. I mean, with her, just her, it's like, She started working part-time at Kamada Motors, so I bet she still hasn't given up. I applaud her tenacity, I guess. I haven't been in contact with Juna or Subaru since the accident. I heard rumors that Subaru's surgery was a success though. Well, that's good. And I assume we'll learn the same thing on the good ending as well. Apparently he's taking time off from school for rehabilitation. Juna's completely shut herself down since then. She didn't attend our graduation ceremony, and she apparently refused her job at Space Candy. Oh. It's like she's really completely cut herself off. Wow. I hope the wounds in her heart heal someday. Frau returned to Tokyo last month. She said it was pointless to stay if she couldn't find her mom and vanished from the hotel before I knew it. I heard Nai-san also returned to Tokyo. Her work was unrelated to rockets, so there was nothing left for her there. Huh. As always, Gijene haunts my phone droid. Airi has yet to show herself. Actually, I wonder what happened to the Airi that was in cold sleep. I wonder that too, actually. It's like, I would hope that she would, like, wake up. You know, did she wake up safe and sound? I certainly hope so. And I hope that in the good ending that she does wake up and will actually meet the real her. I've been seeing Misane in the news a lot less as of late. Maybe she's more focused on her position as a test pilot these days. The Kimijima reports were dispersed around the world, and millions of users got their hands on them. It's April now, and there's been no solar disturbance. No terrorism either. At least nothing big enough to make the news. Today, after multiple delays to the schedule, Tanegashima Space Center launched its first rocket in 6 years. They planned to broadcast it live on the internet, but that didn't end up panning out. In fact, the media didn't even pick it up. It was actually fairly bizarre. That's why I missed the launch. The black rocket, quite different from the old H-2A rockets, took off from the launch pad without me there to see it. I guess Akio went to watch though. She posted about it on Twipo, which is how I found out about the launch. I casually glanced to the south, in the direction of Tanegashima. There's a very small dot of light rising into the sky. I know for a fact that it's the light of a rocket. The rocket leaves behind a trail of smoke as it flies up into the blue sky. When I was little, I'd watch launches from Uchigaoka Park with Akiho, Misane, and lots of native spectators. The thunderous roar of the flames. The cheers of the spectators. But now, I walk along the row of cherry trees lined up on Kagoshima. The rocket is so far away that it's just a dot in the distance. Yet still, just like Misane would do in the past.
Go! Hot dog, go!
I shout out at that tiny dot of light. Huh. Okay. Interesting bad end. Bad end cleared. Honestly, I'm not sure what to make out of that bad end. I mean, I assume that it's alluding to something, but I'm not entirely sure what. I mean, I guess we might find out. Maybe. I mean, we'll see, I guess. So I'll just hop back into Phase 10. I wake up to some weight on my shoulder. I glance to my side and find Akio wrapped up in a blanket and leaning up against me, asleep. On our way to Tokyo, my back hurts so bad I feel like I'm gonna die. That's probably because I've been sitting for 20 hours straight. That's a long time to be traveling. We took a ferry from Nishino-Omote Harbor to Kagoshima Harbor. From there, we've been driving at length along a highway. I've been doing nothing but sitting the entire time. It's pretty much torture. Luckily, I managed to take a nap. I'm not too worried about having an attack like when we went to Tokyo last year.
起きたか、ヤシオ。
Yes, I am. In the driver's seat, Michi holds the wheel with a sleepy look on his face. He's been driving without anyone to trade places with. Just the sort of thing you'd expect from a proud PE teacher.
見ろ、レインボーブリッジだぞ。
Rainbow Bridge. That's an interesting name for a bridge. I raise my head and see a large bridge right in front of me. It's not quite dawn yet. Tokyo isn't nearly as well lit as it was last year. When we visited for Robo 1, the city was bright from night to early morning. Stores running late into the night had shining billboards. And I want to say there were more cars on the streets, too.
去年の太陽嵐あったろ。
Yes, what about it?
あれ以来、節電のためによ。レインボーブリッジはライトアップ用の照明を5割ぐらい減らしてんだよ。これ、豆知識だ。
Really? Huh.
へえ。
The Rainbow Bridge was lit up more brightly last year. Its radiance hit me with some major culture shock. Now, the lights are more modest, and because of that, its unique white appearance isn't quite as impressive. It's only been 4 months since the disturbance. 4 months. It seems like it happened a lot sooner than that. It feels like it happened like a month or two ago, not 4 months. They said on the news that complete recovery was still a long ways off. Still, compared to Tanegashima, Tokyo is crazy bright.
アキちゃん起きて。もうすぐ着くよ。
It's time to wake up. I shake her shoulder lightly.
おはよう。
Ohio.
腰が痛い。
なんちゃくだな、お前ら。
Michi turns on the blinkers. The truck carrying both of us and Model 2 moves into the Odaiba interchange exit lane.
お台場よ、私は帰ってきた。
Back in Tokyo. Before I actually move on here, is there anything to look at here? There is. Is Akio wearing shorts again? Wait. I know I've read Akio's geotag. What the hell? Tokyo Expo Odaiba Arena Aqua. Tokyo Expo 2020 Dream Creation Expo is now open. Contact is Tokyo Expo Development Organization, and of course the phone number. Is that it? It looks like it. Oh, wait. Yuri Kamome Daiba Station. U07 Daiba. All railroads will be unavailable during maintenance until February 21st. Why are the railroads going to be unavailable? Then down here, Tokyo Expo 2020 Dream Creation Expo. February 22nd, Saturday to... Oh wow, this runs a long time. September 20th, Sunday. 2020 pre-order tickets. Contact the Dream Creation Society. Alright. Is that it? Looks like that's it. Listen, yeah, hi, Akio. Okay, that's... oh, wait. Tokyo Expo 2020... Oh, wait. That's the same thing. Yeah, okay. Just in 2 different locations. Okay. And, Tweepo... Wait, what was that? Fukashi Kurokane. Oh, it's a blog. Alright, let's see. No, wait, this is new, yeah. Gijene, reporting an update for the spread of the Kimijima reports. As of February 17th, 2020, 67% have spread worldwide. Total completion, 11%. Germany, past 80%. Thailand, confirmed start of spread. America, 34% complete, showing a high percentage. I'm trying to sound more AI-ish. Regarding the rental car, they said there was a memo left behind stating GSFR. True story. Someone figure out what it means, please. Yeah, I'll get on that. Made it! The land of the final battle! Tokyo, I have come back! The emphasis is on the wrong letters. Tokyo is a lot calmer than I thought. It's only been a few months since the solar disturbance. A lot more cheerful. Oh, that's good. It's like, it shows that they are recovering. Even though it's taking a long time. It's early in the morning here in Odaiba, and Akiho is already yelling. She's hit peak energy levels, like her drowsiness from earlier was just a lie. Well, a lot happened in the last month. I get how she feels. Yes. Subaru's accident, Mizuka-san's death, the destruction of the robot club. That's a little melodramatic there. The destruction of the robot club. And despite all of that, she dove deep into repairing Model 2 so that she could see her dream through to the end. The VP was enraged every time she ran into Akiho. How is Akiho able to handle things? Oh, I do wonder that. The other students at school would talk crap about her behind her back. Which isn't too terribly surprising, given what happened. I mean, but sometimes you just have to face adversity head on and hope for the best. Akio, it's like, grab adversity by the horns and just plow through. There we go. Akio knew this had happened. She knew she was being selfish. She said so herself, but saw things through anyway. And she just barely made it in time for the expo. But if this is her level of energy after getting to Tokyo, she's not gonna last very long. Akio's shout from the soul draws the looks of people nearby. It's still early, but there are already lots of salarymen and office ladies commuting to work on foot. They all give Akio irritated looks before hastily walking away. They seem to be on edge. Of course, they would still be a little on edge after the solar disturbance hitting Tokyo the way it did. Is it because today's a weekday? No. I guess from the perspective of an adult citygoer, some country bumpkin yelling in the morning would be pretty annoying. At the very least, if I was in their position, I'd be annoyed.
見て見て、この辺もう全部万博仕様だよ。
Akio doesn't seem to notice the atmosphere around her. With a light step, she heads toward the expo arena.
去年来た時はロボワン一色だったのにね。
She's right. Expo ads and posters stand out prominently all over the city. It's supposed to be a big event. But it's nowhere near as hustling and bustling as when we first came for Robo 1. You'd think that the expo would be more hustling and bustling than it was for Robo 1, though. The train station is closed down too.
メンテナンス中のため2月21日まで全線の運転を休止しますだって。
Yeah, that's what I read on that sign over there.
移動で見るとそう書いてあるよ。
Okay, so it not only is that a game mechanic, but that's also something that the characters pay attention to. That's kind of funny. Gotcha. It's an AR annotation message. They even go out of their way to recommend taking the subway or a bus as an alternative. Well, which do we want to go with? Subway or bus? Just a slightly unusual thing we noticed amidst all the normality. That's more than enough to remind us that the scars from the solar disturbance a few months ago remain. And according to the Kimijima reports, one of equal or even greater size is set to arrive this year. I don't even want to think about that at this point. Just imagining it gives me a slight chill. Same. Tokyo Expo Odaiba Arena Sky. Contact Tokyo Expo Development Organization. Alright. Like, trying to get all the geotags. As we near the Expo Arena, there are fewer and fewer people. Well, we've still got a little under a week left until the show starts.
スカイの方も完成してる。
The Expo Arena is actually divided into two arenas, Sky and Aqua. Last year, Robo 1 was held in Aqua. I think I remember that. Sky was still under construction at the time. Are they done? I mean, it
でも
looks done.
スカイは万博には使わないって話じゃなかった？
Oh, it's not. Where is it going to be held then?
ああ、そっか。
Use of Expo Arena Sky is restricted, in part to conserve electricity. Just like the Rainbow Bridge. At the start of the year, the governor said so. Originally, both Sky and Aqua were going to be used for giant robot exhibits from around the world. But that has now changed. So, where are we gonna have our robot then? But it's been unexpectedly hard to get enough giant robots to fill the arenas, so both venues weren't needed. Aqua alone is pretty large after all, and while the world might be in the middle of a robot boom, well, given these trying times, there are a lot fewer companies and people that can afford to build giant robots. It's getting less and less. And it's not like they're all building robots specifically for the expo like us. Right. But it's still kind of ironic that an expo arena isn't being used for the expo. Oh, look at this place. I can't take out my phone droid here. So I wanted to take out my phone droid to see if I could get any geotags here, but I can't. The moment she sets foot into the arena, Akio lets out a strange voice.
かい、すごいよ。大きなロボがたくさん。
Giant robots around 10 meters in height stand inside the arena. They look like they're more on display than anything, though. Like they're not meant to move at all. Over 10 of them, even. Over 10 of them, even? It's like, go all Snagglepuss. If you include those still under assembly and those yet to arrive, that number will get bigger. Gathered in this arena are giant robots that are currently in development around the world as of 2020. I'm sure it'll be quite the spectacle when the full lineup is here. It's pretty amazing to think that the Robot Club's robot will be included among them. Reality finally hits me. She's getting more and more excited.
アキちゃん、よだれ出てるよ。
Drooling. Of course she is. I feel like I'm gonna be taking my phone droid out a lot to check for geotags. D2A US Robocom. Navy Boy all lineup presentation. Navy Boy? D2B Liverpool Tech. Oh. I remember Liverpool was brought up in one of the Kimijima reports, if I remember correctly. Absolute Evolution 2020. Looks like that's it. Unless there's something zoomed in here. Oh, demonstration notice. New model presentation. First, 2015 to 11. Second, 1315 to 1400. Third, 1525 to 1610. And asterisk 1525 to 1610 will only feature large robots. Okay, so since our robot is large, ours will be presented in the third time frame. Okay, that's good to know. I think that was it. There isn't anything else, right? Just to check real quick. Yeah, seems like it. All right.
感動しちゃって。どれもクオリティ高すぎるよ。プロの仕事ってすごいよ。かっこよかったり、可愛かったり、みんな個性的で。
I wonder what people would think of ours.
まるでロボットアニメの中に入ってきたみたい。当たり前のようにたくさんの大きなロボットがそこにいて。
Yeah.
当たり前のように動くんだよ。
Oh, they are moving around?
それがフィクションじゃなくなったんだから。ちょっと涙出てきちゃった。
At least this time it's happy tears.
これだけロボがいれば前期で力を合わせて地球防衛軍だって結成できるね。
Yeah, sure, why not?
戦う相手なんていないでしょ。宇宙人が攻めてくるとでも。
It sounds like a conspiracy theory, right? Besides, they aren't built for combat.
それ以前に宇宙人どころか現実に存在してる戦車とか戦闘機にも普通に負けるだろうね。
You don't know that for sure, Kaito.
それはどうかな。
Usually the sound plays when she whips out her glasses, but it didn't this time. Oh, there we
性
go.
能の違いが戦力の決定的差ではないということを教えてやる。
性能差っていうより相性の悪さだよ。
Bad affinity. Yeah, okay.
二足歩行の人型ロボは戦車や戦闘機相手だと相性が悪すぎる。
Really? It's like you think that would be the opposite. Tanks have long-range cannons. Fighter jets can hit and run. I mean, couldn't robots utilize the same, specs? There's no way to deal with either. I doubt there's any opponent at all that humanoid robots have a clear advantage over. Anyway, there's no point in seriously thinking about this. The giant robots that appear in robot anime are always loaded with super tech from another dimension, or whatever. They're not damaged when enemies hit them with attacks. That's got nothing to do with toughness. It's fantasy. It's still early in the morning, but the venue is already packed with a decent number of people. I see a lot of foreigners, too. They must be servicing staff that came along with their respective giant robots. The enthusiasm in the air is tangible. Every person here is one of the top robot engineers in the world. Is it really okay for total amateurs like us to walk among such amazing people? I mean, gotta start somewhere.
あ、見て。
What?
Hmm?
Akio tugs on my shirt sleeve and points at a certain robot. Oh. It's a large, black, multi-legged robot that looks like a spider. It does look like a spider, doesn't it? Huh. I wonder what it took to make this thing. Considering how most of the other robots are bipedal, its frame is rather unusual.
エグゾスケルトン社のロボだよ。
Oh. This is X-Gay's creation.
そうなの。
コンセプトモデル、名前はスメラギって言うんだって。
Sumeragi. The hatch on its torso is open, and what seems to be its cockpit is exposed. Is it really okay to openly display a company secret like this? I mean, it must be, since it's out in the open like this. The cockpit is just large enough to fit one person. Judging by its design, it's the kind of control system where you stand inside of it. There's an apparatus to secure the waist, and it seems to have master-slave gloves for the arms. Do you stick your hands into them to operate it? It's got 6 legs, so... how does that work? I mean, it has to be very complicated, I bet, to operate it.
もともとのハグとは随分違うね。これが介護補助にどう役立つんだろう。
More than likely it's not used for medical support.
それともついに方針転換することにしたのかな。
If I had to make a guess, I'd say that they do more than just medical advancements.
だからただのコンセプトモデルだってば。 今回の万博のためだけに開発した試作機みたいな意味なの。
Even if it's just a prototype, it could easily become a full-fledged, robot, a fully functional robot.
こんなのも作れますよみたいなアピールだよ。
Right.
ふん。
Hugs were originally developed for medical support, but due to their versatility, they're used elsewhere. They've been adopted as sports and police equipment. Huh. Sports and police equipment, that's interesting. They're even supplied to some military units. Ooh. That's a little concerning, isn't it? Military units? Which is why I'm thinking that this spider robot might have been developed for military use. Like it's some kind of tank? Like a version of a tank, anyway? The Kimijima reports named the exoskeleton company as a manufacturer tied to the Committee of 300, too. Yes. I can't help but view this thing in a negative light. Same.
でも確かにこの子強そう。
I can only imagine if it was fully functional of what kind of havoc it could cause. So I kind of don't want to think about it, but at the same time, I can't help but think about it. And of course, the high school girl next to me has a glimmer in her eyes.
お姉ちゃんはさすがにいないか。
The exoskeleton company booth isn't just the spider. They'll be showing off the latest hug model, for example. Lots of staff are busily constructing the space. However, there's no sight of Misane among them. So I hope that at some point we'll actually get to see Akiho and Kaito interact with Misane in the flesh. I mean, Kaito has talked to her over the phone that one time, but they need to physically meet.
Oi!
Hi, Sumio. When we reach our booth's spot, Michi and Candy-san, the Nagafkara family combo, are waiting for us. The booth space allocated to us hasn't been prepped at all yet, so it's just kind of sad to look at. As far as I'm aware, Candy-san was set to arrive in Tokyo yesterday by plane. I thought he withdrew his sponsorship. Did he also have a change of heart? So is Sumio also following his heart as well? Especially after Subaru's accident. But upon learning that Akio hasn't given up, he offered his help once again. It's like Akio's vigor, I take it he sees as her having impacto. Considering how much he already invested, he didn't have much more money to offer. Oh. He didn't have much more money to offer. So how much money was he able to offer then? I hope it was enough. Though, if anything, we're grateful that he offered manpower over cash. Oh, offered manpower, not cash. Okay. Model 2 was split between 2 large trucks for transport. The drivers were Michi and a Space Candy employee. On top of that, he hired several workers to assemble Model 2 here at the venue. Well, that's awesome. People still have our backs. Akio's back, really. You know, since she started the whole thing. Thus, the Space Candy logo is still stuck prominently to Model 2's body.
待っとったぞ、アキオちゃん、カイト君。長旅ご苦労ご苦労。
We did, yes. He uses his big hands to slap me and Akio on the back. Not too hard, please.
いよいよ我が社のスペースアメが東京の地でそのインパクトを轟かせる日が来たんじゃな。
Yes.
いいか、よいら生き魂を見せたれ。
Like, we'll do our best, Sumio. Exactly what kind of spirit is that?
よーし、お前ら。トラックは2台とも搬入口につけてあるから今日中に運び込むぞ。
Alright, sounds like we have some work to do.
よーし、やるぞ。よいらーいき。
In order to transport Model 2, we basically had to completely take it apart. We have 5 days to do this. That doesn't seem like a whole lot of time. And then it's game time.
ここが当面の間のお前らの宿だ。
Oh, wow. Is this a hotel? Is there any geotags here? I can't remember. Have I gotten Michi's geotag? I honestly can't remember. Born in 95. Alright, other than Michi, is there anything in this, I assume, hotel for a geotag? Doesn't look like it. Not even the reception desk. Alright. The Expo Arena looked really big, but it might be a little crowded thinking about multiple robots that are plus 10 meters lined up. I want to do it outdoors if possible. Can't, though, since it's a long event. Check the venue. Heading to the hotel. So this has to be a hotel. The hotel. This is a nice place. They're just in awe at the hotel, aren't they? That night, after going out for tasty yakiniku, I wonder exactly what that is. With Candy-san, Michi brought us here. It's a super high-class hotel right in front of Odaiba Station, a stone's throw from the Expo Arena. Super high-class hotel. So we're living the high life right now. After checking in at the front desk, Michi puffs up his chest with pride at us.
何アホ面してやがんだ。先生はな、今回に関してはかなり頑張って宿を取ってやったんだぞ。
I got that, and you chose a really fancy place, Michi. It's like, how much is it to stay here? I assume it's really expensive.
ロボワンの時お前らから散々文句言われて、先生はむちゃくちゃ傷ついたんだ。これ豆な。
Sorry, Michi.
ミッチーはそんな繊細な心の持ち主じゃないでしょ。
I mean, we kind of got a taste of his delicate side with Mizuka's passing. So we know that he can be a little delicate.
確かにこのホテルはすごいけど、すごく高そうだよ。
That's what I'm saying.
こんなところに半年近くも滞在できるの？
Yeah, seriously.
おいおい、半年もホテル住まいするつもりとか、どこのセレブだお前ら。
Not hardly.
予約したのは2週間分だけだっつうの。
For 2 weeks, okay. That's all, huh? Okay, so after the 2 weeks, where are we gonna stay?
それでも50万近くかかったんだぞ。分かってんのか？
Phew. 5,000 yen.
島の宿なら一泊5000円とかが普通なのに。
But did I say 5,000 yen? I meant 500,000.
金は先生のポケットマネーから出てる。感謝しろ。
It did. Okay, where'd you get the money?
そりゃ嘘だね。どうせアメ社長に出してもらったとか、そんなところじゃないの。
That would make more sense.
さあな。
He's skirting around the question.
50万もあるなら無理せずに安いところを長く借りればよかったのに。
True, yes.
こんな高級なところ逆に落ち着かないよ。
So richy rich.
そもそも2週間ここに泊まった後はどうするわけ？
Yeah.
その後はな。いいか、よーく聞いとけよ。
Don't call us kitties, Michi.
ズバリ人脈を頼る。
Not working. Alright, explain that to me.
東京在住のロボ部 OB/OG 連中がいるだろう。
Right, like Misane.
瀬宮姉とか、あと後輩連中だと宮田とか柳本あたりが東京住まいだったはずだ。
Oh, a couple of the other members of the Robot Club of years past live here too. Okay. Miyata and Yanagimoto. Like I like to try and say the names aloud just so I can get like a grasp of the pronunciation. You've never met anyone named Miyata or Yanagimoto.
そいつらの家に押しかける。
I was a fool for hoping.
計画性ゼロってことじゃないの。何が頑張っただよ。
I mean, he may have done a little bit of planning, but I feel like for most of it, he has just gone by the seat of his pants. Flying by the seat of his pants.
心配すんな。その辺の交渉は先生がしてきてやるから。
Which means he hasn't said a word to them yet.
お姉ちゃんのところには明日行ってみるつもり。
Oh, really? You want me to come along?
住まわせてもらえるかどうかも聞いてみる。
If she'll even talk to Akiho.
よし、いいぞ。じゃあそっちは任せる。先生は他の連中に連絡取ってみるからよ。というわけで、俺。
He hands me the room key.
しばらく戻ってこないかもしれんが、万博の開幕日には顔出すからよ。
Where are you going?
で、どこ行くつもり？
大人にはな、いろいろやることがあるんだよ。これ、豆な。
Yeah, I don't think I want to know.
会場にはおじきやバイト連中がいるし、別に問題ないだろ。
It's like, I don't want to know about Michi's private life, if you ask me.
じゃあな、しっかり休め。
ミッチちょっと
Michi waves his hand and exits the lobby without listening to Akio's attempt to stop him.
信じられない。スバルの事故の時、あれだけ監督不行き届きだなんだって土下座してたのに。
He did, yes. He must have some kind of agenda here. You know, more than just, you know, being our advisor and, you know, being our escort.
監督するつもりなんて全くないんじゃん。
He hasn't learned his lesson at all. I kind of get the feeling that they're overreacting a little. That Michi has to be here for some other reason.
OB と交渉してくるっていうのもどこまで本当なんだか。実は東京観光したいだけなのかもね。
やっぱり頼りにならないな。でも前みたいにいきなり路頭に迷わずに済んでよかった。こんな都会っぽいホテルに泊まるの、実は密かに憧れだったんだ。そのことだけはミッチーに感謝しとこうっと。あれ、カイ？どうしたの？表情が引きつってるけど。
アキちゃん、楽しみにしてるところ悪いんだけどさ、俺今気づいちゃったんだよね。
Did he realize? I hold up the room key at eye level.
ミッチ、鍵を一つしか渡してくれなかった。
And the reception desk usually gives you 2 keys.
つまり？
予約した部屋は一つだけっぽい。
Oh, that I was thinking about that wrong. 1 room for the 2 of us. Yeah, Michi wasn't exactly thinking ahead on this. They've never slept together. The moment I enter the room, I'm overwhelmed by the excessive extravagance. And this is apparently the cheapest level of room at this hotel. Tokyo is terrifying. What the hell do the suites look like? Even fancier, I'm betting. Anyway, after taking a look around the room, both of our eyes are naturally drawn to the same place. The bed? The 1 bed?
カイ、ベッドが一つしかないよ。
これってさ、ダブルベッドってやつじゃない？2人用のベッドだよ。
Yeah? Oh boy. Yeah, they may be childhood friends, but they're not exactly a couple.
なるほど。
This silence is really awkward. I look out the window. It's like in my head, I'm like thinking, like Kaito in his head is like saying, "Curse you, Michi." In the dark, it's like the expo arena is floating. The light leaking out tells the story of people still working there.
うちはいいよ。
Are you, Akiho?
あ、
うちは平気。カイは
Okay, she's okay with it. What say you, Kaito?
ああ。別に問題なし。
I mean, they kind of have to be. They only have the one room. We've been together since forever. I mean, sometimes being childhood friends, between a boy and a girl, can lead into a deeper relationship. There's nothing at all that weird about sleeping in the same bed together. I mean, when they were younger, it's like, did they ever sleep over at each other's houses?
よかった。
Akio glances bashfully at me, and then dives into the bed with all her clothes on. It's like just flops into the bed.
このベッドすごいよ。ふかふか。
She then rolls over and stretches out.
カイもやる？
試してみようかな。
I quietly lie down next to Akiho.
確かにふかふかだ。寝心地よすぎて逆に落ち着かない。
Why are we focusing on a light fixture?
うん。
Akio?
はあ。
The room is quiet. Too quiet. There's a highway running right next to the hotel, but thanks to the solid soundproofing, I can't hear a thing. Soundproofed rooms? Which means the only thing I can hear is our breathing. It almost feels like we're the only ones in the entire world. There's no place on the island that's this quiet. It's not like it's super loud there with cars, planes, and people. It's not. Instead, it's the constant sounds of nature. The sound of the wind blowing, trees rustling, and insects chirping.
ねえ、カイ。
ん？
島のみんな怒ってるかな？うちらだけでガンツク2を持って東京に来たこと、みんな怒ってるよね。
だとしても構わないって覚悟して出てきたんでしょ。
うん。なんだか遠いところまで来ちゃったな。
早いところ次の泊まるところを見つけないとね。ミッチーは当てにならない。
そうだね。明日お姉ちゃんに会えるかな。
Maybe. It's like, who's to say? It's like, even though that we may be in Tokyo, I mean, we may not even be able to see her. It's like, we never seem to be able to really contact her by phone. the plan is to drop by her place. We made that decision before coming out here. We left messages on her voicemail and some texts too, letting her know that they're there and they want to come over to her place. But in the end, she never got back to either of us. Of course.
会えるなら、アキちゃんは何年ぶり？
7年。
7 long years.
そう。
They were so close when she was still on the island. What happened? Yeah, it's like we don't fully have the answer.
早く会いたいな。
It's like I can understand Akio's insistence and her need to see her sister.
それでね、ここまで来たよっていうの。カイと一緒にいろんな人の協力があってここまで来られたよって伝えるの。
ああ。
It's like Akio wants Misane to be proud of her little sister. That'd be one hell of a heartwarming sight. Even way back in the day, seeing the two of them always put a smile on my face. However, I have no more serious business with Misane. Oh no, I have more serious business with Misane. I read that completely wrong. Something that I doubt Akiho would like very much. I think I know what he's talking about. I don't like the thought of ruining Akiho's smile.
ん？
It didn't take long for all the excitement to take its toll on Akiho. She's fast asleep. She looks very happy and content. Geez, she looks totally defenseless like that. She never even considered the possibility that I could become some creeper dude. But we know that Kaito is not a creeper dude. It's like he wouldn't be like that to Akiho. Or toward Akiho. Of course, I'm not. I'm not that guy. Not that kind of guy, yeah. Jeez. Look at me getting all nervous thanks to Michi's blockheadedness. It's like, Michi is kind of a blockhead, yes. I'll never get to the top like this. Hell, Nai-san will probably pass me in the rankings.
お姉ちゃん。
She's dreaming about Misane. A good dream? By the looks of her face here? I hope, anyway. This girl really does have a sister complex. I impulsively give her cheek a gentle stroke. She's just too charming. Right? I mean, that's very sweet of Kaito. It's warm, soft, and smooth.
明日、ミサ姉に会えるといいね。
I hope so too.
うん。
Then Akio grabs the hand I was using to stroke her cheek with both hands. Aw.
起きた？
Like she just did that in her sleep, kind of instinctively in her sleep. She's fast asleep. She starts brushing her cheek against my hand like a cat. Aw. Given how comfy she looks, I decide to leave her be. I want to grab some sleep too, but I'm not actually that tired yet. I guess I'll just play some KB and...
ん
How's he gonna do that with one hand? Right. I can't play Kill Ballad with one hand.
なんてこった。
I sigh and close my eyes. It's like, just try and get some sleep. That's all you can do. As much as I want to, it might be nice to get some sleep without playing KB. What is that, the shower? Well, I think this is a good place to stop for now, actually. I mean, been going for quite a while now. I'd say that this has been long enough. So, I mean, we finally made it to Tokyo for the expo, and just in time by the looks of it. So, I'll be interested to see how this all goes for them. And I gotta say that this, with this being like the true ending route and Akio's route, with that scene that we just got with them in bed, I am seriously thinking now that Akio and Kaito, by the end of the game here, are actually going to get together, not just as childhood friends, but as a couple. I mean, that's just kind of seemed to set things up for that possibility. So, I mean, I know I'm just kind of theorizing of what could happen between the two, but yeah, that's what I would like to see. I mean, they've known each other for so long, so it could possibly happen. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you all for watching as well. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, like, favorite, and claw that subscribe button to become part of the pack. And as always, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you may be.